Today, I'm going to hang another picture. And in a previous video, I showed you how to use these strips to hang that picture. But the picture that I'm going to be hanging now is much heavier, and it doesn't have the place that we can put this. I'll show you. The problem is there's a space right here. As you can see, that hole. So the strip won't hold on to enough of it. And I don't trust it. It's very heavy. It's got the glass and everything. See? And I don't want to fall on the floor and then I gotta live with my mother-in-law because she lives right below me in an apartment. Don't want that. So anyways, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it right. So I wanna point out a couple of things about anchors because we're gonna be using anchors with this instead of strips. Okay, so we have these 3 anchors, and this is one that you typically get. And how it works is as you put the screw in, it's supposed to spread apart, but a lot of times these break. So I suggest you take these and you throw them right in the garbage. Secondly, we have these. Now these are a little bit better because you can actually see the hole in them. So it will literally bulge out. This end doesn't split apart like the yellow one does. What it does is it just has like a pregnant anchor. It bulges out and it grabs the wall and doesn't let you pull it through. I still don't recommend these because a lot of times people use these for their towel racks and their toilet rolls and stuff, and then they always get loose and they're just horrible. This is the best anchor to use. You can see it needs a Phillips head and then it screws into the wall. So you basically need to punch a little tiny hole that's the size of the inside, not the threading part, just the inside. And then you just screw that into the wall and it will hold a lot more weight. So again, we have our anchor here. And as you can see, the screwdriver goes in and that's how you use it to put it in the wall. Now, what a lot of people do is they'll use the screwdriver and they'll put it against the wall and they'll bang it in and make a hole in the wall. And yes, a lot of times the anchors will go in there, no problem. But what happens is instead of making a hole that looks like this, it makes a hole that looks like this because it blows out the back of the drywall. And then people put their anchors in, and when their anchors are blowed out, they don't catch anything, because you've taken it all out of there. So we want to make sure that we use a drill bit. And the drill bit has to be the same size as the shaft on that. So if you can see, here we have a drill bit and it's the same size as the anchor, but the threads are sticking out and that's what you want. So let's measure up and figure out where this is going. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to figure out what height I want. So what I can do, and it's really simple, we don't need it to get complicated with this. We're going to put it up on the wall and say, hey, I like that height. I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to make just a little tiny mark on the wall. You probably can't see it, but there's my little mark on the wall. So that tells me how high I want it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a level, I'm going to put it on the mark. Now because it's high, I'm going to put it on top of the mark. And I want to make sure that it's level. And the reason for that is because I'm going to put 2 in there. So I just want to very lightly put a line on there. And then I'm going to figure out the size of my picture. I'm going to come in a certain amount, probably 6 inches, maybe 8 inches off of each side because of that size of the picture. I'm going to put 2 anchors in there, and then I'm going to put 2 screws with heads on them, and then I'll be able to hang the picture. The reason I'm doing that is because a lot of times when people put pictures up, they start doing this, and people are constantly adjusting the picture. Oh, it's crooked, it's crooked. But if you put 2 of them in there, and they're level already, that picture should stay level no matter what happens. Earthquake, no problem. It's going to stay right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my drill, and we're going to drill some holes, and we're going to put some anchors in. Let's do that. So my picture is roughly 22 inches. So I decided to bring it in 8 inches. And you can see my marks now. I made these a little darker so you'd be able to see them. And the reason for this is because once these are on, that's your 8-inch mark. And that will be perfect. So let's put the anchors in the wall now. So one thing I forgot to tell you was that we have to find and make sure that where we're putting the anchors are going to line up at the same spot as the picture. So how do I do that? Well, what I did was I found out where my center mark was on the picture, and then I measured from this line to there, and it's obviously going to be the same as there. And then I went to the wall, and let me just adjust this bad boy. And as you can see, let me see if I can get this in there. All right. I did the same thing. I found my center mark, and then I measured from that to this and this one, and it lines up exactly the same as the picture. All right, it's time for power tools. I love power tools. Really important. When you're doing this, let the drill bit do the work. Don't push hard, because again, you're going to blow out the back side. So we want to go and take our time. Another good thing to do is I usually will put my hand on it, and I'll make sure that as I'm going in, I'm pushing away from the wall and pushing into the wall at the same time. That way, when it goes through, it'll only go through a little bit. You don't want it to go, whoa, right through, because you don't know what's on the other side of that wall. This one actually has a closet on the other side, so there's no wiring going through there. I already know that, but I'll show you what I do. So we're going to line this up, and I'm going to put my hand here, and I want to make sure that I'm pushing out and in at the same time. And what that'll do is it'll just allow me to go. And now I can feel that it's through. I can actually feel it get really loose. So that keeps me from going too far, just in case there's a wire there. And usually a wire is not right up against the drywall. They're supposed to be halfway between the drywall on one side and the other side. So your stud, it's going to be halfway in that stud. So you shouldn't even be able to hit that. Let's drill another one. So we're going to go up and place it, push my hand like this, real slow, and I can feel it go through. That's it. Another way to do that would be to know what size your drywall is. Could be 1/2 inch, could be 1/4 inch, could be 3/4 inch. And if you want to take a piece of tape or something, put it on your drill bit just a little past that, and then you know as you're going in, as soon as you get to the tape stop. So now we're going to put these anchors in. So I stuck the picture up, but let me show you how I did it. It's going to save you a lot of problems. I'll tell you, it was a great trick to learn. So what I did was I got a couple of forks. Now, if you only have one screw, you can use one fork, but I've got two, so I'm going to use two of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick them like this. I don't have to push hard, just want to get it to sit right there. And then I'm going to take my picture, and as you can see, it's sticking out anyways. So now I'm just going to go on the other side, make sure you don't catch your forks. And you're going to do that. And it doesn't matter now which way it is, because I'm going to take this out and I'll take this out. Now I can adjust it with that. And I can get my level. I'll put the level on there. And I'm going to push it this way. Oh, look at that. Perfect again. Wow. I hope that was awesome for you, because it was awesome for me. And I've got more tricks and tips to show you. Again, if you have something you'd like to know, I will try to do it for you. And if I can't, I'll find someone who can. Remember, keep safe, and God loves you.